Hey, it's Rob from Radio Free Geek, and today we're unboxing the BlindBox Comics from May 2016. BlindBox Comics is probably one of my favorite comic subscription boxes. It's a lot like Comic Bento in that it delivers a blind bag or blind box of curated comics and variants every month. Unlike Comic Bento, it delivers single issues rather than trade paperbacks, so if you're looking for just a taste of something to maybe add to your pull list or go out and grab the most recent issue, this is a good subscription for you. It also caters to comic collectors too, as well as the normal BlindBox subscription. There's also a BlindBox variant subscription or BlindVariant subscription, and what this does is every single month it gives you a variant cover of some new or up-and-coming release. And it also has chase variants. Sometimes you'll get a sketch cover, sometimes you'll get a signed cover, sometimes you'll get a signed sketch cover, or just a normal variant cover that's made exclusively for BlindBox Comics. So that's pretty cool. It's also pretty reasonable. It's about the same price you'd expect to pay. You get 5 comics in BlindBox, and then the Blind Variant, of course, has a single issue. And these are about the same price as you would pay at a normal comic shop to get the same issues. A month of just the normal BlindBox monthly is $20.99 plus about $5 shipping and handling, so about $25.99 a month. BlindVariant is about $12.99 plus about $7 or $5 shipping and handling, so it's $17.99 a month. But they also have a bundle subscription, and for a month for both of these, it's $27.99 plus $5 shipping and handling. It's about $32.99 a month. That's a really great deal if you're looking to collect and also looking to figure out some new things to read, which is pretty cool. It gives you a slight discount, and they're all delivered in these beautiful envelopes. Not loosely, of course. These are shipped in a packing box. But let's get right into it. I'm going to save the variant to the very last because that's probably the coolest part of this month. And let's get into the normal BlindBox subscription. Now it's kind of sent to you in these dossier like secret agent envelopes, and I'll be pulling these out and they'll be loose. And I know what you're thinking, comic book collectors. They don't ship these loose. They actually ship these in your standard issue bags of boards like you would get from a normal comic shop. I'm going to handle these very carefully, but I'm also going to open the pages and show you the artwork. The most mainstream issue out of this month is probably Poe Dameron #1. Now you guys, if you've seen Force Awakens, and honestly at this point who hasn't, right? You know exactly who Poe Dameron is. He's looking for Luke Skywalker at the start of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. And rather than being a sequel to Force Awakens, this is really a prequel. When we see Poe Dameron, or actually when the movie opens itself, we're seeing Poe Dameron looking for Luke Skywalker, and this is kind of explaining the situations he gets into as he is looking for Luke Skywalker. It's really good art. It's probably one of my favorite comic series since the standalone Star Wars series, which is also very excellent. Kieran Gillen is just getting done with his run on Darth Vader, which is unfortunate, but the mainstream comic is doing really well. And this basically, if you know Poe Dameron from the movies, this is more of the same. It's showing him getting his directive from General Leia to find Luke, kind of assembling a team. His the strike force that you see taking on Starkiller Base at the end of Episode 7. And it's a really good setup. Now, this issue, since it is a lot of setup, this is one of the closest stories we have in the new cinematic universe of Star Wars. This is the closest thing we have to Episode 7 after Return of the Jedi. Everything else takes place about 20, 30 years before Episode 7. So this has a lot of ground to cover, obviously. Because of that, it kind of suffers in terms of character development and such. It does have this really kind of hilarious BB-8 kind of sub-story that doesn't really fit in the canon, but it's nonetheless hilarious by itself. It's kind of a Calvin and Hobbes art style. Not animated by that, or not drawn by that dude, unfortunately, who does them all over Instagram. But it's a really good introduction to Poe Dameron. It's a really good gateway drug to the Star Wars comic universe that Marvel's creating. And this is the most mainstream comic, for me anyway, that was in this box. The rest of them are things like Samurai, The Isle with No Name by Titan Comics. Now, Titan, you guys are probably familiar with the Titan figures. They've also got the license to do the new Doctor Who comics that are fantastic. They've got some with Matt Smith and David Tennant. And I think they either just did or are about to do one with the War Doctor that they saw on the 50th anniversary special. Just great. But they do, every story arc has a different Doctor, and I think that's fantastic. So Samurai, The Isle with No Name, the terrible battle against the treacherous Akuma. The terrible battle against the treacherous Akuma has been won, but the Empire is safe once more. But Takio, I am so sorry, anybody with a Japanese name, has set out for the mysterious unnamed island to continue his quest to finally discover the truth about his brother and save his family and the symbolic tattoo that saved his life. So this sounds, if you're a fan of like the Seven Samurai movies or Lost Samurai, this sounds like a comic that would be right up your alley, which for me, that fits the bill to a T. I wonder if Donnie Yen is appearing in it somewhere, even though I know he's not necessarily, or is he Japanese, or is he Korean? He's still pretty damn good. I can't wait to see him in Rogue One. But wouldn't it be great to see Ip Man make an appearance in a comic book? And has he done that? If Ip Man has a comic, let me know in the comments below, and I will try to find that. So the art style is really good. Titan is really solid on their art style. They do change styles to fit the story they're telling, and this looks no different. You have a really good color palette, very natural, very Japanese in a lot of ways. You've got the cherry blossoms standing out against the backdrop of these very picturesque mountains and temple valleys, and it looks like it'll be good. I'm going blind in this series. I know nothing about it. I've never heard of this series, so hopefully it'll be good. If you've read it and know some like it that would be good, let me know in the comments, and I'll be sure to add them to my pull list. Next one we have coming up is Dark Horse, which has been doing really good with getting independent writers and artists ever since they kind of lost the license to Marvel for Star Wars. And this is House of Penance, and I've heard a little bit about this, but let's see. The Winchester House, famous for its original owners' bizarre compulsion to incorporate a multitude of architectural curiosities. But as the bereaved Sarah Winchester workers toil on stairways to nothing and doors to nowhere, a mysterious stranger arrives, and he can make Sarah's demons all too real. So this is a Western ghost story set in the Winchester house, apparently set during the construction of it. And it sounds kind of like Crimson Peak meets Supernatural in a lot of ways. Speaking of Supernatural, they have bullets. I wonder if it's the Winchester pistols. So this sounds right up Dark Horse's alleys. I've read Creepy Comics before, which they put out every now and then, kind of like a heavy metal of horror stories. And the art style is just really gritty, really brutal, really really good looking. So this looks really good right out of the gate. Apparently Winchester pistols, just like Supernatural, will wind up in the story, featured in the story heavily. So this looks really good. So House of Penance #1 by Dark Horse. If there are any good, I'm a horror movie fan, so if there are any good horror comics that you read, let me know. I've been reading Survivors Club and also Harrow County and Coffin Hill by Vertigo and Dark Horse, and I think Image, just read Injection by Image too, which is fantastic. It's not necessarily horror, but it is definitely creepy and dark. And this one is Jackpot #1 from Aftershock Comics. Again, I've heard of Titan, I've heard of Dark Horse, of course. They both need no introduction. I've never heard of Aftershock. If they're any good, just like Valiant and the Comic Bento, if they're any good Aftershock titles, please let me know and I'll add those to my pull list. So Jackpot #1. Meet the world's greatest con artist on the eve of the greatest scam in human history, ripping off the gods themselves. The high-stakes, high-octane story of Jackpot begins here. Ray Fox, acclaimed creator of Intersect and writer of Gotham by Midnight and Batman Eternal, teams up with Marco Falia of Spider-Man and the X-Men to bring a new mind-building, genre-busting monthly series from Aftershock. So we've already got a damn good team putting together this book. I don't know if it's set in the 60s, but this feels kind of Mad Men, doesn't it? So let's see what's inside. Got a really sharp art style, really sharp color palette. From these guys, you probably expect nothing less. And it sounds a little Ocean's 13-ish, mixed maybe with a bit of supernaturalism. since they are ripping off the gods themselves. Not sure if that's literal or figurative. I hope it's literal. But I guess we'll find out. So art style looks really sharp. This sounds... I'm a fan of a good con movie. Who isn't, right? Rogue One is going to be... Sounds like it's going to be nothing but that. So I'm already a fan. If you know anything about this series, let me know. If you know any good heist movie type comics, let me know in the comments below, and I'll add those to my pull list and see what we can find. And last but not least, in this one is BEK or Black Eyed Kids #1. This one might be like a True Believers type issue because it is only $1.99. Again, from Aftershock, no, I know nothing about them, so let's see what we can find description-wise. Black Eyed Kids. It's dark. You're alone. Then there's a knock. You open the door, and 2 seemingly normal kids are outside. They ask to come in to borrow your phone and call for a ride. You find yourself overcome with an intense fear that you can't explain, and then you notice their eyes. Black. Solid black. You want to run, but now they're inside. It's too late. They have you. Eisner Award winner Joe Pruitt of X-Men Unlimited and Cable is joined by artist Szymon Kudranski, I'm so sorry if I'm butchering these names, of Spawn and Penguin, Pain and Prejudice for this terrifying new horror series. So we got 2 horror books in this month's collection. Again, just like Jackpot, the art is really sharp. You got a really nice Twilight, snowy kind of color palette, and this sounds like kind of a good old-fashioned, creepy, hopefully cerebral. That's the best kind of horror to me, is cerebral, kind of creepy, like The Ring and the Japanese Grudge. So hopefully this will be some good old-fashioned John Carpenter, Clive Barker type horror. I sure as hell hope it is. So that's it for BlindBox Comics, the normal one. You do get 5 really good comics. I don't think these are variants. They didn't mention them in the paper that I got. I know Poe Dameron #1 isn't. You've probably seen the variants of him and BB-8 doing the blowtorch thumbs up. I don't think these are variants, but again, just like Comic Bento, this is a really great way, if you don't read these already, to basically get a curated suggestion from a comic book store to add to your pull list. And or if you don't like them, give them to somebody else, or if you do like them, hand them off to somebody else and let them get into it. Fortunately, Odyssey is not part of the collection. It was set it on top of the BlindVariant, but it's a damn good book. So the BlindVariant again is a standalone subscription, or you can get this by itself, or you can get a combination subscription. That's what I've got. So I've already opened this, and just to see what it was, I'm actually really amazed at what it is. I'm actually afraid to touch this. The reason I say that is, like I said, there is a chase variant. There are some severe chase variants in every one of these. And if you've gone to cons, as I often do, they have sketch covers. You can hand these off to an artist, and they'll sign them. And that's what I got. I've got it signed by Matt and Charlene Kent. This is their new series, Department H, and this is a sketch cover. A clear sketch cover. As you can see, I've got 26 of 50. That means that there are only 50 of these in the world. So I'm really afraid to touch these. This is actually highly collectible. This is going to get framed immediately after talking about this, as well as a certificate of authenticity to let me know exactly that. It's 26 out of 50. You're screwed if you ruin it. But let's take a look at it. So Matt Kent, you guys are probably familiar, did the Mind Management or Mind MGMT series with Charlene. I'm not sure if they're married or sisters or siblings. Probably safe to not assume. But they're known for having a really cool art style. And that translates really well into Department H. And what Department H is a murder mystery that is underwater. So you take the closed door murder mystery, and then you add an unfamiliar death, and in this case, very literal unfamiliar death, and you let Matt Kent put his spin on it, which is always good. Official synopsis. Let's see. Mia is a special investigator hired to uncover possible sabotage taking place at a deep-sea research station. What she finds is a mind-blowing crime filled with suspects with terrible secrets, strange deep-sea creatures, and an impending flood. So it sounds like a murder mystery meets fear. So you've already got me hooked. Matt Kent has a lot of stock in my bank from pardon me, from doing Mind Management. That was a damn good series. It's a damn shame it's come to an end. This is definitely going to get framed immediately after this video. So, what do you guys think? Do you think BlindVariant or BlindBox is something that you would subscribe to? If you were going to subscribe to it, would you subscribe to just the regular one, the Chase one, the variant version, or would you subscribe to both? If you ran BlindBox Comics for a day, what would you put in it? Like, share, comment, subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. Join our community. Comment on anything and everything. And as always, we will see you in the next video. And thanks so much.